There we
Now
go.
it is.
All
Okay.
right.
Good afternoon. Chris Karen's here. Welcome to the demo Kim Johnson's going to give us. It's going to be about 2 hours. Hopefully, if we need a break in the middle, we'll take a break. And if you want to ask a question, you can type it in the chat and I will relay it. Or you can unmute yourself and ask it directly. But don't hold it to the end because then you'll ask something and we'll forget what we were looking at the time your question refers to. So Kim has a psychology degree, but she's spent most of her time doing watercolor. She's been included in several splash issues. She's also in a variety of watercolor society, including the American Watercolor Society, the Northwest Society, the
The
Transparent
Northwest,
Watercolors.
not the Northwest.
What is it?
National, it's not the Northwest.
National, excuse me.
Yeah.
The Transparent Watercolor Society of America, the San Diego Watercolor Society, and she's in the Arizona Watercolor Society, and she's in a number of them. So she's very well known in the community. I've seen one of her demos before, and she is excellent. So hopefully you will take note, and hopefully those of you who are not planning on currently not registered, I should say, for the full workshop. It's coming up right around Labor Day. So there are still spots open. So please go on the Watercolor Society website and sign up if you're interested in participating with us on Zoom. So that's it. Did I forget anything, Susan? Or
Yeah, you can tell them the workshop dates. The
I don't have it
workshop
written
dates are
in front of me.
September 8 through 10. And all of the information for the workshop is also on the website when you go there and enroll. All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Okay, Kim, it's up to you.
Yay.
Let's get her spotlight.
Well, she's going to share screen too.
I will do the sharing screen.
Yeah.
I figured I'd talk just a little bit about my palette, some of my brushes, and if that way, if you don't have some of this equipment and you feel you absolutely have to have it, you can get it before the workshop. And one of them always seems to be these, they're lifters. They're called the Eradicator. They're from Rosemary's Brushes. You can order them through Wind River, is in Texas. These are really nice because they have a nice little edge to them. They will not disturb the nap of your paper if you use it fairly lightly. But that's not to say I don't use the others when I really want to get it. And then I don't care if it disturbs the nap of my paper. But these are great. They come in, I think they come in 4 sizes now: small, medium, large, and extra large. And if you can order a set or you can order them individually. And if you're only going to do individually, I would suggest the medium and the small.
And Kim, this is Susan. You said it is in your supply list?
I'm not sure if I did or not.
Okay, I'll double check that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But these are great lifters. You'll use them forever. I love them. Okay. The brushes that I do like to use are the Silver Black Velvet. They are I have to find one that's not all crumbled up here. 3000 S series. When I was first buying them, they were very, very reasonable. I don't even know if they are anymore. I have, when I saw that they were on sale, I picked up a bunch of sets of them. So I have them laying around, but I really, really like these. I also, in that particular brand, I like the small jumbo. They have a small, medium, and large jumbo, but the small jumbo is fabulous. It's got nice long ferrule here, holds lots of water. I can play with it and make it a flat brush if I want. I can bring it to a point if I want. And I know they say that you shouldn't finger this, but as long as you're washing them, you know, every so often with maybe Dawn or something light, they're fine. I don't know that I've ever actually outused a brush. But also recently, my friend lost her whole set of these in a box that she was sending. And she ordered the King Art, and I like those as well. It's the 920 series, and those are extremely reasonable. So I don't know how far along some of you are, if you're just beginning, if you still need to make a whole collection of brushes. King Art is a good one, and so are the Black Velvet. I even went so far as to order their 9100 that has very long, flat. Sometimes it's just fun to paint with something a little different rather than a round brush, kind of get you out of a rut. Like that a lot. And for brushes, I think that's about it. I use the Shy's Art. Maybe now I should share so that you guys can see this. Where'd we go?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to do the chat, but I can't figure out how to do it. And what I want to know is if we come to the workshop and we already have an extensive number of brushes, do you want us to buy more
Don't buy
brushes?
any.
Okay,
No,
thank
no,
you.
I was just saying if you didn't have a whole collection, you needed more, those are good ones to have.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, don't go buy any brushes for this. Okay, so there it goes. I happen to like to use a smaller palette because when I was first starting off, it seemed like I used way too much water. And I thought, well, if I moved to a smaller palette, it would help eliminate that problem. That's not necessarily true, but I've gotten to the point where I really enjoy using a small palette. This particular one is Shy's Art, SHYARTS. She is going out of business. I think I read somewhere recently she had like 30 of them left, and I think they're about $60. But I have a couple of spares just in case, and then I'll have to decide what I'm going to do about a smaller palette. I also have a Craig Young palette that is extremely expensive, but I almost had it stolen, so I have a hard time traveling with it. I use it at the house, sure. The Shy's one, not, you know. So, and it has 16 wells in it, so it's plenty of paint. On the side, I have one of these for experimental colors. You can tell they have a big mess here, but you know, sometimes that's the color I want, but I don't use these on a regular basis, so I don't put them on my palette. Okay, and any questions so far? Guess that was no.
No, we're clear.
Okay, well, so if somebody wants to see my palette as I'm painting, you have to let me know because I just don't have a space for it here somehow. I decided to paint a bird today because I'm not painting a bird for the workshop. We'll be doing a cat. So I decided to do a bird. And these guys are pretty colorful and they're fun to paint. I've done them several times in different compositions. It's always fun to kind of do experimental type things so that you know you can with the different blues and then with the green up here and having it run together, all that kind of good stuff. So this will be a fun one. And this is not very big. It's only about a quarter sheet, something like that. So again, please ask lots of questions. We're going to need them. so we can keep busy, okay? I'll get started.
Can you disclose, besides the cat, what else are you gonna paint in the workshop, or do you know yet?
Yes, I've already sent them out to Susan, and one's a cat. I think we're doing portrait, and then one day we're doing figure. Is that correct? I've already forgotten what I sent you, Susan.
Yes, that's
That
correct.
sounds
Yes.
right.
I have it
Well, that's
set
good.
aside over here, but we're gonna do, yeah, like I said, a portrait, a cat, and then a figure.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told her that for my portraits, I am absolutely would like to share them with you, because normally people who want to paint a portrait usually want to do one of their child or their grandchild, and those are just not good ones to start with. You don't want to be emotionally involved in the outcome. So if you use one of mine, that would be perfect. I feel like with an animal, you guys probably have enough of your own animals. You can go ahead and take a picture of your own. Just make sure that you have light, a nice light source with light, medium, and dark shapes in there. And I don't really care if you use my figure. I think it's a guy sitting on the beach. I painted him. I think I have him on one of my reels on Instagram. But it was a very, very small rendition of it. So I did a bigger one for you guys to do it.
Hey, Kim, somebody's
Another-
asking what it is the weight of your, is it 140 pound?
I have really been using 140. I still have a lot of 300 pound. I'm using the 140 because paper has just gotten extremely expensive. And
Do
I-
you stretch it or wet it? How
No.
do you?
no, I do not stretch it. I just have pins in it. You can see, just gonna hold it down. I use the Saunders 140 rough, and they're cold press. I also like Arches 140 cold press, and the rough and the cold press. I do not like the 140 in Arches hot press. It seems to me like every time you lay something down, it picks it all right back up, even if it's completely dry. Now the Saunders 140 hot press I thought was okay. I'm still leery about using it because I had such a hard time with the Arches. If I'm going to use hot press, I really like the Fabriano 300 pound white. And I was listening to somebody else talk, and how they thought that they felt like they should keep changing up their paper so that they didn't become so reliant on a particular paper. And I totally agree with that. Experiment with it, you know. If you have some 300 pound, try it. If you have hot press, try it. Hot press can be difficult, but the effects on it are beautiful. So it's just a preference. Any more questions? I also prefer to have the white, not the natural. And Saunders seems to be the more easily accessible paper anyway, is the natural color. Although, like I said, I would prefer to have the white, but, and I'm sure that this is a Saunders because it has that kind of tinge to it. Okay, anybody else? Shall I paint?
Yep.
Okey-doke, here goes. My glasses on. I did do up just a little one this morning. I mean, a really little one, like a 3x4. Just a quick little, my quick little study isn't that big, like a complete rendition. And so, but I was playing with my colors and stuff. This is like a 3x4, something like that. But he's kind of a fun one to paint. But I could see where I need to make some variations, and not just the color, but some of the shapes. This was just a quick freehand thing. And no, I thought I'd show you that. Okay, so what I really normally like to do, and especially with animals, is I like to just start throwing some paint around. And because what happens is when we first start looking at our reference and our subject matter, we think, oh, well, we're going to paint our subject matter, not our background. And then when we get done with our subject matter, then we think, oh, what am I going to do with this background? And that's one of the reasons why I started kind of throwing paint around so that I could be doing my background and foreground all at the same time. And I have not done that in a little while, so, and I did not do that with this one this morning. So I may try to do that this morning on this one, this afternoon. So I'm gonna pick up, I'm gonna make myself a nice puddle of my cerulean. It's gonna be fairly watery. I want my paint to move. That's my biggest thing. I just want it to move.
Did you spritz your paper or are you just going
I
in it
haven't yet,
outside?
but I will,
Okay.
because first off, you really want to make up your puddles here in advance. Otherwise, I'm in Arizona and the water is going to dry way before I get to it. I'm going to take some of my sap green. I may even add a little bit of, I have a phthalo yellow green. I'm going to mix right in with it a little bit. I don't want to do too much mixing here. If you do too much mixing, it doesn't let the paint do what it should once it gets to your paper. And of course, you know, I'm looking at the colors that I do have on this bird. This is the only time that you ever see me work from colored photo, is if it's a specific bird or animal with very specific colors. Otherwise, I work from a black and white. I want to make up my colors as I go along, but if I want this bird to look semi like this bird, I need to use those colors. I'm probably going to have to stand up here. I'm going to take a little bit of my cad red on the side here. Most of my paints here also are an M gram. And if you're using M gram, or if you're ever going to attempt it, their colors are extremely saturated with pigment. And if you're used to using, say, like a Daniel Smith or Winsor Newton, they're not quite as saturated. So you're going to want to use more water if you're going to use the M gram, at least until you get used to it. Okay, so I am going to spritz a little bit. I'm going to try to leave myself a little bit of, I don't mind if some of this spreads out, but I will probably want a clear delineation in some of this area. And this is definitely a spray. So I'm going to take my cerulean. I just want to get paint moving. That's the biggest thing, movement. And really, I don't want my colors to be dirty when they go on like this did. So
You want to describe how you're doing that flicking with your finger?
just flicking. You can even take another brush, any brush, and just let it go. Let it do its thing. And
Thanks.
then if we don't have enough movement happening, spray it again. Because we want movement. And this should be the fun part of the very first stage, should be the fun part, where you could take your brush, you could take your finger, you can do anything. We just want movement. This is why I said I might have to take a break just to let this stuff dry. And if I have white pieces in here, that's a good thing, because it'll make it feel like there's air movement in here, and that's a good thing. Not everything has to be painted solid. I just want to make sure that I have yellow where yellow is, blue where blue is, and if they commingle, that's fine with me too. I do feel like that the more that I have painted, the less that I do this type of thing. It feels like I have a little bit more control. But I really like how over here on the edges, like say where these things are happening, it's commingling. Which should make a nice transition between my yellow and my blue when it's a completed painting. Here we have some nice green. I'm not really mixing, I'm not gonna mix my green. I'm gonna just use my blue and this is cad orange. The cad orange in the Winsor Newton is very yellow. I just need to make sure I don't have drips where I don't want drips. This is all gonna go green anyway, so we're good. And if I am gonna do any mixing, and I'll show you. So I'll take my cerulean. I'll take some of my cad orange. That's about it. I don't get in there and stir it all up. I want it to be bright enough. So I don't want it too watered down. Like I said, I also think that as we get painting more and more, we just naturally end up with more control. Now I'm moving back up here. Let's see, it's already dry. Really need to get some of this green moving in here. I don't really want that to drip there. There's a nice hard line here, so I can always come back in and make it darker. I also have a little tube of my hookers here. I used to have hookers all the time on my palette. I don't anymore. But there's a nice bright thing happening up this way. So that when it mixes with my blue, it's really a pretty color. So I'm just gonna let it happen. That's why I brought out my hookers. No more. I can get some of this area too. I have a really large bead here. I really don't want to drip. Pink on that. Where is it? these little thingies to happen out here. They're little feathers. I can come back later and make shadow shapes. I'm gonna add a little bit of my cobalt. Just to change up the color.
Kim, this is Susan. Is your paper angled or flat?
It's angled. I have it at right here about probably a 10-degree angle.
Thank you.
Because you can see all the water is all the paint's falling down. And that's really the way you want it. These things like this to me are pretty because if I just soften up a little bit of this, it'll make it feel like it's all part of that feather without having to go in there and say feather. I'll have to do that anyway at some point, but I can leave some of those nice light spots. I wish I had left more up this way. And I am absolutely going to tell you my thought process. I have been in classes myself when I was learning where somebody came in with a painting that he had worked on over the weekend and said, there's something wrong with this painting. Can anybody tell me what it is? And nobody could tell him, and so therefore he wouldn't talk. And I did not feel like that was a good learning experience. But also, my whole point with this too was to tell you guys, I missed my point here too, was to work on this background at the same time I'm working on the foreground. So I'm just gonna a little more paint there, and then I'm gonna come in with my spray bottle. I am going to lift this so it's a little bit more flat so that I can get some of these edges to move out. I can pick up a little if I don't like them. And I'm gonna just throw out get some nice movement happening. Because if we don't work on the background at the exact same time we're working on our subject matter, everything disappears and all you see is that subject matter, and it's very difficult to come back and say, okay, now what? And it is for the instructor as well. Oh, well, I think you should put a black thing on that. Well, if you put a black thing on something around this, then it ends up being a complete cutout. And I don't want that. I'm going to take this here with a little bit of, I believe it's like a primary yellow, and I'm going to move it this way. So I can start feeling this bamboo or whatever it is he's got a hold of. And I can come right up into his beak because that of course is going to come much darker, but it helps move the color around. We don't want any hard lines at this point. I'm going to take some of this same yellow and flick it right in here. It'll give it a different variety with the yellows, which will be good. But like I said, the only problem with doing this is then you end up with very wet paint. So then you're going to have to decide when it's time to set it aside and go dry it. I'm going to lose all this great yellow stuff here because that green is underneath it. These go all the way up here. More. Probably I'm even gonna get it a little thicker because I really want it to dry. With this type of a color. Not the green. And I'll be the first one to tell you too, maybe it was a mistake to do it this wet way. But I've painted it several times, not this particular painting, but we always have to make these things exciting for ourselves. We have to. If we don't want to come back in here and paint. The whole process becomes kind of boring, and we don't want that. All right. And I'm going to take my spray bottle and just go on this edge, let this stuff drop. Where I have a hard line right here, I don't want, so I'm going to do this. I'm taking basically the same value of paint. It could be a complete different color. It just doesn't make any difference. Just like this go up. I don't know about you guys, but when you were learning to paint, it seems to me that we used a lot of Hooker's green and sepia, things like that. And I've really gotten away from using them, and I think as time now has gone by, I'm like thinking, oh, maybe I need some sepia. Maybe I need that Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is another one. I don't use it, but now I'm like, oh, maybe. Still think that this could be a nice softer edge. So I'm going to come back in here again. Look this way as well, I think. I really do like to leave a lot of white in my paper, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I have to be okay with that. And got a little bit of green in here, that would be good. I think I always feel like backgrounds are something that just almost happens as you're painting, because it says, oh, your painting needs this, so you do it. These little flickers too can get carried away. So you want to be careful without doing them too much. Just enough. The just enough part is the hard.
So Kim, this is Susan. So what is the color green you were just using?
That was my Serpentine Genuine.
Yeah, that one.
I really do enjoy that particular color. I use it a lot on my portraits and the figure work.
Is that Daniel Smith?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of red flecks in it, so it goes really well with flesh tones.
Yeah, it's a nice green. I use it too.
I'm gonna get a little bit of my cobalt moving in. And like I said, you could see that this is extremely wet. So this, I know we're not that far into this, but it might be about the time that I need to decide to dry this. But now, having said that, which I usually do this, I'm gonna take some of my get some of this going in here so I know basically where it is. And I'm just taking a little bit of my cobalt with my sienna. I don't want it to be too dark, but I want it to start telling me
It would be great.
what.
Okay, see you soon.
Okay, that
Bye.
was.
Whoever that is, could you please mute?
So, and this is a pretty definite shape here. So if I can get some of this, and I have pretty thick paint here too. So it should pretty much stay in place except for where it moves down. The nice thing about doing birds and animals, or you don't have to be perfect. That's the best part of the whole thing. Nobody is ever going to look at my photograph and this painting at the same time and say, doesn't look anything like that. Nobody will say a word. That was good. And as long as I have some of this on here, I can get some of this going. Just a light coat.
What color are you using now?
This is my cobalt and my burnt sienna. Just a little mixture to neutralize some of the blue and make it a little bit. I don't even need to go clear to the end with that. But I do want to come up here a little more. There's this pink. I like how it's feathering out. It's going to give me a nice backdrop for what's happening here. And I am going to get a little bit of my red going on in here. So this is my cad red light, so it's all going to disappear. Hopefully it'll leave me just a little bit of a glow on that, and that's all I want. I can get just a little more here. I'm not trying to make it look exactly like this beak. I just want it to have the feel. I can get some of this in here too. Yeah, I'm going to take it very washed out. If I can get this to be more of a dry brush, that would be a lovely thing. Leave little sprinkles of light in there, that would be perfect. Start showing a little form while it's still wet. Try to pick up this just a little. I don't care if some of that's in there. It's all going to be light anyway when this dries. And that'll give it a nice suggestion of certain things blending together. It'll look better. So I have this, I have this. I think I'm going to take the blow dryer now because it really needs to dry before I can come back in.
Okay, Susan, do you want to turn off the recording or do you want to?
You're not going to be very long, Kim, are you?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
But
We'll just,
I will mute myself so nobody has to listen to this.
yeah. Okay. So we're not going to stop right now.
Except for I don't see how to mute myself on this.
Down
without
on the
stopping.
lower left, you should have a microphone that you can put a,
Because I'm
cross to it.
sharing my screen though, it's not, I don't have that.
oh, let me see, maybe I can find you.
Yeah, maybe you can mute me.
Okay, I've got you. I just muted you.
It appears she's struggling here to get her dryer to work.
Oh,
Hey, this is Laura. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing her? I've tried everything on my computer, and when she's closer to her computer, it's much louder. Is there anything to do you think? Or is it, am I the only one?
This is Susan. I am not having a problem hearing her. Is anybody else?
yeah, this is Chris. I'm not having a problem either, but she's on mute right now, but
No,
Yeah.
this was earlier. Okay, then it seems like when she leaned into her computer, she was much louder and I could hear it better, but okay, thanks.
Okay. Laura, put on your hearing aid. No, I'm teasing. I
Oh, old age jokes, huh?
know. Well, yeah. What can I say? All right. So Kim, just tell us when we can unmute you. Or signal, put your hand up, something.
I have a question. I just tried to sign up for the workshop and I am a member, but I could only get non-member.
You have to log in to get the member price. Did you log in?
I'll go check.
yeah,
Yep.
go log in as a member first.
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
log in.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I'm not having any trouble hearing either.
Okay.
See, I'm hearing you guys just fine.
I don't know. That's odd.
Just like life for me lately.
Well, we'll check it when she comes back online. But I still see that hairdryer in there, so I think
Yeah.
we'll leave her on mute for a while.
Do you know what brand of cerulean she was using?
She did not say, but we can ask her.
Okay.
It was probably M. Graham.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Well, I know said she's using some M. Graham paints, but not all. So let's double check with her.
There's the supply list online that you've
Yes, there
generously
is.
put there, and there's no specifics on that.
Particular one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll ask.
She has some that have Winsor Newton and.
Are you looking at her supply list, Laura? Because does she list what was the things she said she hadn't listed? Was it the palette or the brushes? I can't remember what she said now.
She's got a watercolor palette, Schizart palette.
It was the Eradicator.
Oh, the Eradicator, that's right. Does she list those?
What is an eradicator? Was I sleeping?
Maybe. It's the thing that you can scrub out with. And I
Yeah.
think it's
Brushes. Sable, synthetic, silver, black velvet, numbers, blah, blah. No, she doesn't have the eradicator on here.
okay.
I'll try to update my supply list.
Yeah.
These
But
are,
that's okay. It's through Rosemary Company, correct?
yes, it is,
Yeah.
but You can order them from Wind River. If you order them
okay.
from Rosemary, they're gonna come from England and you'll have a big shipping cost.
Okay.
So
I
All right.
didn't mean to be talking behind your back, Kim.
that's okay. You go right ahead.
And we were also wondering the cerulean pigment that you use. What company is that from?
That one is the M. Graham.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
it is. Okay.
You know, I thought I had won several sets in different shows that I had been in. And I thought after I got done using them, I would always move back to the Winsor Newton. And I did purchase some Winsor Newton and I tried to use it and I thought, oh, wimpy. I'm
Interesting.
wimpy.
Well,
So,
all do you think it's also because of where you are in Phoenix that it's so dry because M. Graham doesn't dry out as much?
no,
No? Okay,
because
interesting.
my M. Graham will still dry out.
Dry. Uh-huh.
You know, they say it won't, but it does.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm a member. I paid my dues. I logged in. I couldn't log in. I searched for myself. I couldn't find
Okay, well,
myself.
Kathleen, we'll take this offline, okay? You can email me and we'll help you get it enrolled.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get one of the last 6 spots. So I'll email you as soon as this is done.
Perfect,
Thank you.
All right, ready to go, Kim.
There you go. Okay. I'm going to make myself a few little corrections here because it doesn't look like I got this quite down as far as it should have been. I'm going to get some yellow moving and then more of my serpentine. So it can feel like it goes right over the top of his eye. I don't know why I've drawn it that way, but that happens. You know, sometimes you don't realize until you're drawing, till you're painting it, that you've made a mistake. So you just go with it. Make the corrections as you go along. Don't try to say, oh, well, this is the way I drew it, so I'm going to leave it that. Don't do that.
Well, Kim, did you draw this by hand or did you trace it?
This one, I think, was a little bit of both. I believe I put some spots in here that I thought were important, and then I drew in the rest. And that's probably
Okay.
why it's off a little bit, and that's okay. Hopefully it gives it a little bit of character. I see nothing wrong. I want to clarify this. I see nothing wrong with tracing. As long as you know how to paint your subject, you can trace it. If you can draw it, you can paint it. If you cannot draw it, you cannot paint it. And I know that there are lots of people out there that say, well, I'm going to trace it because I don't know how to draw it. Then you can't paint it because you don't know how to make things go around. You don't know where something is inset and you don't know how to do that. I've had people do that when they were trying to do some of the portrait work, and you can't. It's just impossible because you don't know how to push the eyeball back into the head. So, but if you know how to draw it, then you can absolutely trace it. Because you'll know what it looks like. You get the concept of, and that's important. So I get this up here, that's all right. All right. So I'm going to take a few of these outer edges here and I'm going to put them in so that I can feel like where something is. I don't want to do every one of these. That's not fun. But if I can give the suggestion of these things happening, that's perfect. And I certainly don't even have to do all of them. But when I have so much time to paint, I might do every one. But we do want to have nice lost edges. That's very important when we're painting. I find that, how to say this, I always, I will do the same if a subject matter is not that familiar with me, then it seems like I put a whole bunch more detail in it than I ever would before or after. And I don't like those paintings. But if I can just get the suggestion of them happening, that's exactly how we want to paint. We need to lose edges. If we don't lose those edges, even if our photographs suggest, oh yeah, it's hard all the way around, we as the artist have to decide where we're going to lose that edge so that this parrot feels like he belongs on this piece of paper. Not that I've taken a pair of scissors and cut out all the way around him and pasted him on. That we don't. I'm even gonna get a little bit of my purple going on in here. Just to mix it up a little bit. And I'm not, some of these lines aren't even there. I'm going outside. It's like I'm making him a little fuller. Good, that's all I could say. It's good. I do want to make some of these negative shapes for these lighter because they're so pretty and they do really suggest what's happening. But if my lines become too hard, you'll see me pick up my squirt bottle and I will spray them so that they will fuzz out a little bit. I'm only trying to make the major shapes so that our mind will fill in for the rest of it. At this point, I can barely even see my drawing. So, like I said, it's not. I can't draw it, but I can't paint it. So. I don't know, at the end of this, you guys might say, she can't draw it, so she can't paint it. But if you can't tell, I love to have a good time doing this because if we don't laugh while we're doing all of this, then we'll just sit and cry. Because watercolor is the most difficult and it's just the way of it. But it is absolutely the most rewarding as far as I'm concerned. So I have some pretty hard lines here, so I'm just adding just a little water just to let them become more or less. And I personally, for me, if I get to the point where I'm just sitting and noodling, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this.
Well, I may have missed it, but what color did you use for that really dark blue?
This is basically just my cobalt. I did add a little purple to it that I'm picking up on occasion just to change the color of some of the shadow shapes.
Okay.
This to me is such a pretty thing that's happening, and if I can reproduce that, that would be lovely. Oh, It's okay, just to put your finger here and let it. And again, I feel like I got a little bit too much information here, so. I'll make some of these kind of disappear if I can. I don't feel like I have these areas here dark enough. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of red with this. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of dry brush. More red, I think. And I have a very dark thing happening under here, so I don't have to worry too much about what's happening with some of this. And it's really nice when you're doing these classes, I can look over and see what it looks like on the monitor. This will definitely go darker, so I will not be a straight line when we're done. I'm going to take some of this red with my CAD orange. And I'm going to get some of this moving this way. Just so it feels like that the whole painting is developing at about the same rate. If we don't do some of this, then we get this completely done, and then the rest of it looks out of whack. Just like with this here, I needed to soften this. So I'm gonna come back, add a little bit more of this. These hard lines will bother me. And if they bother me, they must be bothering you, so. Notice how I just want to lay down my brush in a couple of these spots so that I can see the edge of my painting. This one has more purple in it. But I can make some different shapes with some of this too. No, we're supposed to let some of this dry. They say that watercolor dries, I don't know what it is, 20% lighter, but that just doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know what 20% is as I'm painting.
Tim, some people were having a little trouble hearing you, so
Oh, let me turn all of
you
everything.
might want to speak up a little.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Now, does that make it better, or shall I do it on my iPad? Oops, that took a picture. I didn't want that.
I'm the problem child. It's not better. So try the iPad. You tried the iPad?
I just did, but let me try it again.
No, they said it was me. It wasn't you.
It could be me. Let's see. Uh-oh. I don't want to do that. Cancel. Okay, did that make it any better?
No, must be me.
Darn.
Sorry about that. I'm so sorry.
Now I have to take this off anyway. Let's do this. Well, I don't know why that wants to take a picture, but it does. Change around like you're supposed to. Give me 1 second here. This doesn't want to do what it's supposed to. Square portrait. photo. Supposed to have this on photo, right? Come on. Oh. Mhm. I wonder if I have to leave and come back in. I can't get it to go.
Kim, I think you're fine.
I'm on photo, but I can't get it to go back towards my screen, towards my painting.
Is it the one, are you trying to flip it? I think it's the, well,
Well, I think you can use you can use the video down in the corner and say, sometimes you can say
There we go.
There.
switch
There, you
cameras
got
or
it now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you,
Oops.
you got to flip it. Yeah.
Come on, you.
We're blaming this on Laura.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy about that since I'm taking your class, Kim.
Okay, here it is again. Let's try this. Very good. Wow.
There, that's good.
There we go.
Although it's
Usually my
sideways.
fault. Oh, now it's
No, no.
sideways.
What you can do is on video, go up under
Video.
video settings.
You're
There.
good. There you go.
Thank
Perfect.
goodness. Yeah, when I do it badly, I do it really well. Sorry.
But I think
Okay.
it's supposed to be on my photo so that it's not quite so big.
Yeah.
All right, I don't care. If you guys are good, I'm good. Okay, so I am going to continue painting. I don't know where I was, but that's all right. This all has to come much bluer. And we see I have some particular shapes here, but I'm going to take some of my cerulean and I'm going to get it moving in here. I honestly, I like that the yellow has come in. It will help. It will help to connect these shapes, which is really important. And I'm going to come back up with this. My red with my cat orange. When yellow, which cat orange to me is very yellow. When you try to make a shadow shape, you don't want to put the complementary color in. When it comes to a yellow or this cat orange, you really want to put red in it, and that will make it go around. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Not everybody.
No, could you explain that again, please?
Yep. When you are going to make a shadow shape for a yellow, or like I said, with this cat orange, you really want to add red to it. It usually is a warmer color for these colors to make it go around. If you're doing like, say, a lemon, as it goes around, you want to make it more red. You don't want to put purple in there. Purple will just make it dirty. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
And you can even see it from this particular photograph. These shadows are very, very warm. I'm gonna put this right on the edge of this bamboo or whatever it is that he's hanging out. I can come back and put another color on it. It's not green. Just want there to be a suggestion of some of this happening. If we have too many details, the viewer certainly does not know where to look. Let that get too dry. So we want some of these really nice soft edges. I don't know if you guys can see it, but in this particular area, there's some blue and yellow all mixed in together, and it really looks pretty if I can make that happen. Some of the darker color right through here. And sometimes it's just the tiniest little mark that makes it say, oh, I'm a feather. Sometimes
Is
it's anything at all except for that little mark.
Is the color under, is the light blue underneath the dark blue dry now, or is it still wet?
This is all pretty dry.
So the cobalt or the dark blue you're putting on top of the lighter blue, you're not having soft edges there.
No, you can see right here. If
Yeah.
I want it to be a soft edge, I have to encourage it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm. I also truly encourage you as well to use your finger. Your finger is your best weapon. It will tell you where something is. You get lost in your painting, it will definitely say, oh, right here. Just a little. I'm gonna make his even bigger. I think it actually comes out. Sorry. I'm gonna come back in here with another dark. I'm getting my cobalt, my burnt sienna. And I probably gonna take a little bit of my purple here. I want it to be dark. Because I really want to get some of this information up here and make sure I've got a good shape. This whole thing comes like right down into his eye. So I can do that now. I don't have to wait. This shadow comes right over his eye. Helps define these feathers back here. And what's happening up here. I don't want it to be too much up that way. Again, I don't really like this really hard line here either. it's very, very straight. Do you see this? And this straight edge is going to draw everybody's attention right to it. So I'm trying to mess it up here just a little bit. I think that should work. It's going to be a softer dark, and then so softer, red, and then another dark. Sometimes it's just a fun, different thing to do to get your darks in fairly quickly, even if they look a little bit out of place. They certainly do not have to be perfect. Again, nobody is ever going to look at this and say, I didn't do that. Oh, it could have. I just want to make some of these suggestions of these things happening here. And notice how I keep changing the way the point of my brush is, so I can see where I'm laying my brush. There. There are nice little rows of feathers in here. As I don't stick my finger in something. Want to make them feel like they're pieces of feather, but again, I don't want to do all of it. Just some of this red. Dark spot and do here. Connects with the upper beak. Have that white line a little bit too thick, so I can always thin it down without destroying. I just want to roughen these up just some. I don't. It connects right here. It's a very good connection, so that the beak is all part of the bird, not a separate entity. And it looks like I need a little bit more dark here. And each time you come back and do a little bit more of your dark mixing, you can never get it exactly the same. There's no sense in even trying. But what you do want to do is give it a bit of a variation. That's important. Yeah, I'm just laying down my brush. Now I can come back and I can move this around just a little bit. I'm not gonna come in here and do all these little cracks and crevices. It's just not important. What is important is that I have the darks where I need the darks and the lights to the lights. I got this a little bit misshapen, so I'm gonna make it just a little forward. Oh, see, there we go. Again, nobody will look at that and say that beak was never that long. So. Some more of this red, I think.
I can no longer see the whole reference photo. Could you move everything over to the right a tiny bit?
That's because I have it on video instead of photo.
Well, great. That's way better. I can see better now. Thank you.
Yes. I just did a very light wash here. I know I like this little light spot, but, and we'll see how that works out. I do feel like I like a little more red in here. There's a nice little reflection happening. I'm not going to come in here and do all these little wrinkles either. That's not my cup of tea either. I'll have lights where there are lights. Hopefully I'll have some shadows where there are shadows. And if I need to come back in and reinvent them, I certainly will. I used to be very much of a purist. If I'm going to be a watercolorist, I had to paint watercolor, not white. And after many years, I have decided if it was good enough for the masters, it's good enough for Kim. And so therefore, I hope you guys feel the same.
Well, this is Susan. I do.
Good. I still have one more painting to get into San Diego and one into the Transparent Watercolor Society to have my masters in both of those. But the Transparent Watercolor Society certainly does not allow white paint. So for that one, I'll have to be very careful. Once you kind of get in the habit of using some white, you're just not quite as careful as you used to. Is what it is. I know that doesn't exactly show like that, but it looks pretty good on my monitor, so I'm going to try to leave that alone. Get a couple more of these little crevices in here without doing them. The same with this. This one needs more red because it's inside of his beak. This one has a nice little shadow shape. So this is where we just kind of start, for me, a little bit of noodling, if we can tolerate noodling. But we almost have to in order to get some of this to look like it should. I'm not having a whole lot of like doing some dry brush on this, but there it is. So I can leave little sprinkles of light in there. Sometimes it just takes a little practice. I think I still have to carry over more of the dark. I want some of this to be directional, so it feels like it's coming up and around. And I don't really want to change the value or the color of this. So on the opposite side of it, I have that piece of bamboo, whatever that is. And so hopefully I can use that to my advantage. Oopsie, I want that there. Same with this. If I gotta have it up there, I gotta have it down below. This is so much darker. I should just be able to do that. Be a nice little connection again. But having said that, I really want to do negative painting around some of these little feathers here. So it feels like those feathers are on top of. This is a claw, so I don't really have to do it for that. I'm using a little bit of yellow ochre on these. So I felt like as I was coming down, it was getting a little bit too much the feather color. But again, I can run this right over the top. I can even take some of this green when this dries. See, even I have to remind myself when this dries. This needs to be so here. And then I'm going to also take some of this red and I'm going to carry it up. This looks like I have it a little bit out of shape. That's better. And those are the things that I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Anybody wanted to say something? Am I here alone? I am going to narrow these down just a little bit. No.
Kim, I have a question. This is Jane Sunshine. I love how the beak is showing some granulation with your different glazes. Do you recall which of the pigments was more granulating?
It probably was my cerulean.
Okay.
So
It
don't-
really came out with the red underneath. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I need to do more. Whoopsie. It's okay if I have some of that color in there. I mean, but I really do want to show a highlight. So I'll let that sit for a while and see what I think. I'm not, this needs to be a little different. And I am going to take some of this, I'm going to put it up this, it feels like that is too light in value, and I have this red that the red didn't continue on. Some of it's okay, some of it's not. This is the nice thing about putting some of these darks on here. Once you go over them, they usually will they'll loosen up just a little bit so that it feels like it's part of the fur. No, don't think I have to shape it. That might be better. Let's wait and see. Okay, so I'm gonna get the eye in there because I never like to leave the eye like this at all, ever. Because to me, it looks like it's a big hole and it's a laser beam screaming at me. Do something, do something. And I'm gonna use some different colors in here. I used a little bit of my cerulean. I'm going back in for some of my green. And I'm gonna get some of this yellow moving in here. I want it to, that feels better. All right, now having said that, let's go back over here because we need this is in shadow. Notice how I butted up against it. I didn't go in and pull it down. I went below and pulled it up so that it would flow back into. Yeah, it feels like I really do need a few more of these. That one here. I'm gonna give some more over here. It just feels like I need it, so I'm gonna do. And this white that's around his eyeball doesn't really work either. It feels like it's detracting from the actual eye. So lighter on the bottom, which is good. Pick up a little bit of this red too here. And I'm gonna do the same with some of this. I'm just making some little abstract shapes through here so that I don't have to come in and do every little line. And here was where I realized I haven't followed through quite enough. I don't know. That is what I think. I don't have the pupil in his eye, so that is another thing that feels off on it at this particular moment. But it's all good. I'm gonna give it a pupil after it dries. This is too much the same color as what's happening here. I'm gonna take a very light wash of my green that I already have on my palette. Change this up. That's getting closer. I'll still have to put the dark through here. When I start getting close to time to stopping, you're gonna have to tell me because I'll just keep painting.
Well, you still
Well,
have half an hour.
Okay, good. Tell me when I have 15, would you?
Okay.
Sometimes when you have that 15 mark, you can just, all of a sudden, you could just do something and it just pops. Yeah, I was gonna say, I moved, why didn't my hand move on the screen? I better get some of this in here too. Because otherwise. I want to have some of these little shadow shapes happening. I need more of something, so I'm just gonna keep doing a little mix until I get it right.
What brush are you using now?
This is
What
my
size?
second round,
What number?
16.
Thank you.
Yes. I know they say you should never have something come out of a corner, but I don't really care. I like it coming out of the corner, and I have won many prizes with paintings that have come right out of corners, so I'm not worried about it. There's always rules, always. So you decide which ones you're going to break. Once you've learned them, let them go. Figure out how to break them. I feel like that this got a little solid looking. So I'm gonna take one of my eradicators. I would like a straight piece of paper. I don't know if I have one. But I do have a sponge here that's not been really used that much. And I'm gonna come along here and I'm gonna try to pick up some of this. Just to give it a variation in what's happening. And that probably wasn't the spot to do that. Can you see why? Anybody? That's because that's right where the light spot is right here. So, the white that I have that I don't have any in my gouache right now. So I will come back with my watercolor white while this is still even wet. That's good. And it will not turn a white. It will take up whatever is underneath it. I'm going to put just a little bit more red in here in this area. It feels like it needs it. I'm looking at. So that's not gotta stay a strong line like that. Because that's the nature of this beast of white. It's the Graham. It just doesn't. That feels better to me. Hopefully it does to you guys. And lid back on here. I'm gonna take a smaller eradicator. And I'm gonna come in through here. Just pick up some of just a little few pieces of this. So it feels like it's going right over the top. But because I have this on here, I put it on a little thicker. I should be able to get some of this up fairly easy. I want it to feel feathery. I have some of the darks in here I probably need. But it's been fun to paint. Oops, probably wouldn't go there, I want to do it this way. I may have a little bit longer to paint on this after class, but if I do, I will definitely send it to you guys. That's a nice thing also about these eradicators. You can use it like it's a brush. Mm.
Are you gonna put those claws in around the
I am.
branch? Yeah, okay.
I felt like I needed just a little bit more information on some of this stuff. And I had to let this dry. If I
Yeah,
don't, it's dry, it's not gonna. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I can just give some of this a little bit more information. I didn't even get working on this part. What was I thinking of? Let me do something with that real quick. Put some green in this, nice shadow color. Like that, we use our finger, we use whatever we can. Put some of this right. Yeah, and we just want to make just enough of these shapes in order to make it feel like, oh, that's what that is. That's all we needed to say. We don't have to get in here and say every little feather. We just have to make it say, those are feathers, period. That's it. This feels like I do something with that. What you should say to yourself when you're painting, little more, little less, little more, little less. That's it. Oh, this is ugly. I don't think he looks ugly at all. I do want to lighten this up. I don't like this shape. So that's what you say to yourself. I don't like this shape. Let's change it. Let's get these claws in. I'm going to exaggerate the shadow a little bit. And I'm going to come back with just a little piece of light right on the tip of that. They're up here.
Kim, you got about 15 minutes.
You know, darker, darker, darker. Much darker. Thick paint in order to have it stay where it needs to stay. This is very dark underneath here. Little piece of light underneath there, just a little. Sometimes the detail doesn't truly matter, and other times it feels like it does. Getting out of the way. I can feel like it's part of this. I know I have them pretty close together, but I think it's fine. Also, I don't know what's on the other side right over here. I'm not putting it in. I don't think it's. He doesn't need that other wing. Do you guys think? I'm teasing. I'm not putting it in. it doesn't make any sense to with what I have. So that's the reason why I said that. This one again. I need to reestablish this. I'm sorry, I probably am mumbling. I need to reestablish this other one here. Needs really dark underneath here. But I may as well do this one again right here. The other one is pretty dark, so I don't think I need to do any more with that. And it may feel like it's too dark, just because nothing else is quite that dark. We only do this. A little more of this one. I don't know that he needs anything else. I'm feeling like maybe this shape here could be a little bit better. Here. But just having it disappear feels like it's a good thing to do too. Like maybe after this dries again, I could come up here and put a little bit more detail. But other than that, I don't know that really needs anything. I can come in here and I can give this a bit more of a full shadow shape. You guys have any questions? Okay, how about if I ask a question and she's-
Kim, you talk a little bit about the workshop and how you each instructor is different. Some demo and then the people paint and then
Okay, so I will demo and then I will let you guys paint. And then we'll talk about each of them. And then you'll continue to paint. I will continue to do another demo. And we'll go back and forth all day long until the end of the day. How's that?
perfect. Thank you.
When it comes time to doing the portraits, I will do, I've sent out the the eyes, nose, and the mouth. So we will start off first thing in the morning. I will show you how to draw an eye and I will show you how to paint an eye. Then you will go and you will paint your eye. And then after I do my nose, you'll do a nose and just continue on until we get done with the features. And then I will do a whole demo on a small portrait. And then you will. That's
Okay.
about the thing that's different. I do suggest that we do not take an hour for lunch. I will be ready to take a nap if we do, and you guys will never get another thing from me. So
I think that's fine.
if we could, that would be very much appreciated. I just want you to see what I did here. I did this boom, 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 and it was absolutely the wrong thing to do. I think I'm just kind of getting in a hurry, wanting to finish this for you guys. So I'm gonna take this and take this one. And hopefully change some of the. That might be better. Maybe pull this out. Out. Here is this. There are whole bunches of little tiny little feathers up this way that I do not want to paint. Maybe if I just give it a little suggestion of it happening, that would be enough. I still feel like I have this very straight across. I still have 5 minutes to fix it. So
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes.
loosen up some of this here. And this one here can be loosened up, I think. Like I said, the fun thing about these particular little brushes are you can draw with them. And that's a nice thing. I think what it really means is
What brush are you using there?
this is the eradicator. Like I said, this is the fun thing about these eradicators is that you can draw, you can paint, you can use them to lift. I just have to have enough paint on here to make this do what I want it to do. There we go. I'm gonna give it some darks, I think, here in a couple of spaces, but it doesn't really have it. So. I want this eye to pop. Yeah. So I've used that one. I'm going to go back to this medium one. And I'm going to pick up some of my turpentine. I'm just going to give some of this direction thing. I don't feel like I really need to do anything else. This could probably use to be a little bit more generalized, not all this white here. Can you see anything else that's bothering you?
How about a little white around the eye?
I would like to put in a little highlight on either eye. Is that what you meant?
Well, there's also seems to be a ring of white
Oh, I
around it,
see what you're talking about.
plus a highlight, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of there. Probably not quite enough. Here, this is what you're talking about right here.
Yeah,
Mm. Needs a little highlight. I feel like his eye got a little small. And if you really look at the photograph here, his eyeball is not exactly round. And I feel like as human beings, we want to see it round. Eric, I feel like he could use a little bit of blue. Like I said, because I'm using the M. Graham white, this is not going to stay white. The undercolor will bleed through when it's really dry. So what I really need to do is just leave it alone until it does that.
And
Yes. Okay. Anything else you feel like I should do? I think I was thinking I needed to put this little white in here. I forgot something.
Well, I think it looks great and we're right at 3:30, so
Perfect.
thank you so much.
Thank you guys for coming. I look
Yeah.
forward to meeting with you guys.
yeah, September 8th is the day we start for 3 days. So again, there's some spots left. I encourage you to go and sign up if this demo was as wonderful you think it was as I do. So thank you, Kim, very much.
Thank you very much.
And
love
I
the
really
back.
enjoyed it, and I was able to sign up, Susan.
Yeah, I saw that, Kathleen. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
Thank
love the
you.
background technique. I hope you're going to do that in the workshop too.
Absolutely will.
Do you get to keep the workshop or do you have time after it's over?
Yeah, we will have it up for like 90 days for you to rewatch it.
Great.
Yeah, and the demo we will be putting out tomorrow.
You got
All
such
right.
wonderful textures, Kim.
That's
Thank you.
great.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
I
Thank you
second
very
that.
much.
The textures are wonderful.
Beautiful.
Okay, leave. I have to leave.
I appreciate that very, very much.